All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And pretty much, this is a video, based on an article that was put in our chat dealing with this whole situation. All right, that was going on with the whole Brooklyn subway shooting yesterday. All right, and there's still a lot of other information coming out, and so that's why, as you see, I put in the title, the quote unquote black nationalists. Oh, actually, I put the NYC shooting suspect, right? Because they call him a suspect, and they said that he was what's this guy's name? Frank James. All right, now some interesting information coming out on this. And whether they come out and say, yeah, 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 that's the guy right there, or nah, 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 it ain't him. The point is that this individual, Frank James, as I'm about to read in this article, there's some pretty interesting information, all right, about this individual. All right, very, very interesting information concerning, as you can see here, black nationalist information that is easy for them to tie in and try to equate us to. When I say interesting, that's what I mean. Now, before going through, he has a YouTube page. All right. And as you can see, this is his YouTube page. According to the article, they actually put the link in here. So that's how I saw this here. And you can see the name of his YouTube page is, if you read it correctly, is Prophet of Doom, right? Quadruple eight, which is interesting because he spells it with an I, but in essence, it would really be saying the prophet, like a prophet, one that prophesies. All right, prophet of doom. So isn't that interesting? Prophet of doom. And he speaks, when you look in these videos, you got Lock Yo Shi, your prophet of doom is moving on, right? And I'm gonna read the article, but I'm just go through a few of these videos here and see, the kind of things, because they put in the article how he expresses, you know, certain sentiments. All right. And this is all, at the end of the day, we know what Esau is trying to do with it. Okay. We know what Esau is trying to do with it. Look at this. Look at this. All right. Look at this. And what they do is they take certain things, whether he's set up, because he very well could be. All right, but they take certain things, and don't get messed up just because it says a year ago. These, when they set up agents, all right, they put them. Look, they can have somebody who's quote unquote been doing this thing for years. All right, and then all of a sudden, they pop up on the news, don't be deceived. And that's why yesterday when I did that video, I mentioned that, we're gonna watch this because uh the elder brother Karatas also put a video out. And in the video, there's an individual breaking down how when you look at the scene, the video from the subway shooting, there's a lot of things that look very sus. Like people pouring blood on the floor. You had a certain woman who she pours some on the floor, then she uses her feet to step in it and smear it and drag it, and then basically she goes on. All right, and there's a lot of things about that video that you know a lot of people are saying is very suspicious. It's not really adding up. All right. You hear this? And then on one end they say that he said he hates N words, right? And on the other end, they said that, he's saying, like I put in the title, calling on people to kill, to kill Whitey. All right. But it says here, fighting with white supremacists within, all right, baby boomers. Look, prophet of doom. Look at the image he's using. This shit is getting real, too close for comfort. And we're going like I said, we're gonna come back. All right, we're gonna come back and you know look through here and see. All right, but for now, let's come back here to this article. All right, so like I said, it's just very interesting information here, that we got to keep our eye on. Like I said, even if they come out and say he isn't the man who did it, the 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 thing about it is they've already put an individual like this, his information out there. All right. And now you're seeing more and more talks of this so-called black supremacist this, black supremacist this, basically quote unquote Israelites that have extreme views. Okay, that's what you're seeing more and more. All right, now this is another um, article here that I found. It says here, Frank James, person of interest in NYC subway shooting, seen making political rants in YouTube videos. All right, see, there you go. Now we're dealing with YouTube videos. It says NYC, New York City police now consider Frank James a suspect in the Brooklyn subway shooting. So, like I said, we're going to read through a few of these, and, we just got to keep our eyes circumspect because we know already what time it is. All right, these devils ain't going to wait forever. So it says here, Black Nationalist Brooklyn subway shooting suspect Frank James in custody. It says here, ABC News is reporting that the NYPD has finally apprehended the main suspect. right, exactly. So it says here, in yesterday's brutal shooting at a subway station in the Brooklyn neighborhood of Sunset Park. Now, you know what they do is they walk in one direction, then they turn right around and come back. Then they turn right. When this thing first started, the first thing I saw was they said they're not looking at this as a terrorist incident or that kind of incident. But then we know that's exactly where they're gonna take it. All right. But it says here, because that's also another form or technique using gradualism. Now it says NYC subway shooting suspect Frank James in custody. So now let's read down a bit here. Um, yeah, this is what Mayor Eric Adams said. But now let's deal with this part right here. It says it started yesterday with Newsweek reporting that the suspect still at large in the shooting, Frank James, had been investigated and cleared by the FBI in 2019. So he was investigated. But what was he investigated for? In 2019, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was also the year of if I'm not mistaken, I think that might have been the year of the Jersey City shooting, you know, or maybe I may be wrong, but if my memory serves me right. It says soon after that report emerged, thousands of people scouring James' social media presence made a truly shocking, if unsurprising, discovery. The suspect who shot at least 10 people in a terrifying and meticulously, you hear that? In a terrifying and meticulously planned mass shooting. All right. Now let's hold on 1 second. For those that are not familiar, let's type in that word meticulous. The word meticulous here says showing great detail to attention, very careful and precise, meaning he took his time and planned this thing out. So it was his intention to do this, right? It says police found explosive devices that didn't detonate. And now dealing with the suspect, it says has been publishing bizarre, hate-filled rants on YouTube. There we go, YouTube. You hear that? Not just Facebook, not just his social media account, not a manifesto. YouTube. What does this mean? This means that let me put this in example sense, right? It's like if there is a suspect, or there's an individual that goes and does something bad, and they say, "Oh, we found out that this individual comes from this community," meaning he lived in this neighborhood. That means if there is anybody else that lives in that neighborhood that might have done anything similar in terms of how they think or how they move, they're now on the list, or they're now looked at heavily, because when they say YouTube, that means now you're coming, which they already were, but they're looking for an avenue to break into that platform. So now if they say that he was publishing bizarre, hate-filled rants on YouTube, then now YouTube is like a main avenue to look at for anybody that might be publishing quote unquote hate-filled rants or bizarre rants. You see? And in this world today, people, when they're in the emotions, they don't pay attention to detail. They don't look at any of that. All they see is, oh, wow. Well, guess what? That sounds just like those quote unquote, and that's the new term, the black supremacist, nationalist. All right. They take that and everything else, it's a big umbrella that everything else can fall under. That term is whatever they say it is. So if that term is Hebrew Israelites, then it is. If that term is the black consciousness community, then it is. That term is whatever they say it is. Okay? So all they got to do is slap that on you, and you fall under anything that that term is subject to. Now let's keep going. Let me read it again. It says that he has been publishing bizarre, hate-filled rants on YouTube, praising praising other mass shooters and calling on people to kill Whitey. You hear that? That's the part right there. To kill Whitey. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Amazingly, YouTube hasn't taken down the page. Now, wait a second. They take down our pages left and right, and when we even dealing with prophecy. But it's interesting how convenient it is that YouTube hasn't taken down his page, and all his videos, all the so-called evidence and proof that they need is just conveniently there waiting for them on a page with an individual's name, Prophet of Doom. Prophet of Doom. Really. Oh man. It says here, which, as far as we can tell, still includes all of the hateful videos. You see what's going on here? Well, it seems that they just left his video, his page on there. We'll just leave a link here to it for you just in case. But it seems that all his hateful videos and all that stuff is still on there. You can go check it out if you want, by the way. That's what they're doing here. It says that media outlets have reported on extensively overnight. And you know how these media outlets report. They'll say he expressed this and this hate, and he's about this black nationalist, which there's which sounds similar to a sect or a similar sect called the Hebrew Israelite, or they call them Black Hebrew Israelites, right? They say it BHI, you know, who also express such yada yada. Take a look at this video. Take a look at that video. Take a look at this video. Now, was he inspired by them? We don't know. We're still investigating, and we're gonna find out. We know how this devil moves. I'm just throwing that out there as examples. All right, I'm not saying that's exactly what they're gonna do. All right, but this is why the scriptures say to remain circumspect. We know We know what they're going to do. All right. It says here in one video, James verbally attacked. Now let's keep going. Some more interesting information here. It says in one video, James verbally attacked NYC Mayor Adams, saying he had been through the city's mental health system had gotten him locked up. In the system, he said he had experienced a kind of violence that would make someone go and get a gun and shoot motherfuckers. Quote unquote. That was his words. All right. That would make someone go and get a gun and shoot motherfuckers. Now, in his videos, he appears to express support for an extreme black nationalist ideology. Do you see what this means right here? Right? This word ideology. Okay, let's go ahead and let me do you all a favor and type that in for you. Ideology. Now, ideology, it says a system of ideas and ideals, especially one which forms the basis of economic or political theory and policy. Synonyms are beliefs, doctrine, ideas, opinions. You hear that? Teaching. So now I'm curious, I'm doing this on my phone, but I'm curious to see what happens if I type in black nationalist, right? Black nationalist ideology. And let's see what comes up here. Black nationalist ideology. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up here in a new tab. And type right here, black nationalist ideology. And now the interesting part is, can I change this? Okay, I can. Hopefully the screen is not too dark where you can't see it. But when you click here, you have black nationalism. All right. And let's see what you have on here for black nationalism. And the key part here is the key words that they use. All right. And this all eventually goes back to Project Megiddo. All right, where they have it all listed in there. Now, notice it says here, black nationalism, a type of nationalism. All right. It says here, or pan-nationalism, which espouses the belief that black people are a race and it seeks to develop and maintain a black racial and national identity. Yep, I remember that. It says black nationalist activism revolves around the social, political, and economic empowerment of black communities and people. And this is why we always say that black term. It's not, we are Israelites. We're not black. But it's interesting that you still have certain Israelite groups that insist on calling you black, the black man, the black community, the black people, the black. And they say, "Well, thank you. We love the fact that you call yourself that because we can definitely use that to continue to demonize you." Right? So it says here, especially to resist their assimilation into white culture through integration or otherwise, and maintain a distinct black identity. BIE, black identity extremists. Sure, I've heard that term before. Now it says here, I did see something here. Yeah, you got black supremacist, black only state. There we go. Black nationalists say they seek to ensure the survival of the black race and cultures of historically black states. Meanwhile, critics of black nationalism contend that many black nationalist groups advocate racial violence. And like I said, this all goes back to Project Megiddo. You can go ahead and read about that. And it won't be long before, lo and behold, you see your man's Vocab Malone jump all over this. I'm telling you, it's not going to be long. The second he sees this, sees black nationalism, oh, it's going to be a field day for him. All right. Oh man, this is interesting. So let's go back to the article. All right, and all I'm doing is just reading through. All right, and just analyzing because we know how these devils work, and just analyzing the things they say. All right, and the keywords they use that they can later on come back and tie into different things, painting with a broad brush. So it says here, at certain points, he even expressed. Now, check this out. He even expressed a hatred or dislike for black people, referring to them as racial slurs, which we won't repeat here. Although you can find some examples over at the Daily Beast. What's interesting, right? Man, oh man, what's interesting is in that sense, you could, I'm not saying this is what he said, but this could be an example of what it would sound like. Like, I hate niggas, right? Like, niggas, you niggas are wicked. You know, niggas, niggas, niggas. But in that sense, okay, that's why it says racial slurs. The nigger woman, that's a term, right? Now, you see how these terms, once they become popularized, others can just use them. And if those people do something, then they say, oh, well, anybody that ever used that term, we can come back and get you. But now, isn't this interesting? At one point, James calls upon Black Jesus to kill all the whiteys. Hmm, that's interesting. Does that sound like something that could possibly be related to, maybe a scripture or a breakdown we've brought out before, and they can say, huh, seems like these people are also looking for a black messiah to come down, and they claim that he's going to destroy America and he's going to enslave all white. They've said that on Fox News. They've said that on national TV before. Remember, like we say, they have everything that has taken place. The Joy Morgan situation. Yeah, I bet you forgot about that. The whole Covington situation, the whole Jersey City shooting situation. All of these things are still on record. They're still on record. And all it takes is to gather enough to put them all together. See, when they do a compilation, you can look up that word, compilation, where they put together all these videos. And like when you watch Jason A, for example, Jason A puts together a compilation of different videos of things going on around the world, right all into one. So that's when you really get like a intense view of, damn, there's a lot going on, as opposed to looking at it at different times and different intervals. So if they take every single event or situation they can use to demonize us, put it together and throw it onto one news segment, now you're getting a whole 30 minutes or a whole hour long session of just, oh, look at what they did. Oh, that's not the only thing they did. Back in 2019, there was boom. Back in this, there was boom. Back in this time, there was boom. Okay. So this is a very key, interesting part here that they mentioned. At one point, he calls upon Black Jesus to kill all the whiteys. Interesting. It says here, Frank, oh, Black Jesus, please kill all the whiteys. Hear that? Hear that? It says, Frank James, the person of interest in the Brooklyn mass shooting, posted a photograph of the Dallas BLM shooter who killed 5 cops. He also posted a prayer asking for whites to die. One of his videos is titled, We Once Were Kings. You see where this is going? So isn't it interesting how it just so happened to be that the one suspect that they could find in committing after we've been saying for years that they're gonna do something, the one suspect they could find in committing this so-called terroristic act just happens to express such black ideals and all these things, and he's calling on Black Jesus to kill all the whiteys, and we were once kings, and then all these, his YouTube page is Prophet of Doom. But that's all just coincidental. All right. It says here, um, Frank James, the person of interest in the Brooklyn subway mass shooting, made a number of pro-communist and pro-Fidel Castro posts in the past. His most recent posts and videos have pivoted obsessively to Black nationalist interest. I wonder what his influence might have been. Whoa, would you look at this? Describing himself as a prophet of doom. So now he's a prophet. Oh man, it just doesn't get better than this. He's describing himself as a prophet of doom. James at one point describes 9/11 as the most beautiful day probably in the history of this effing world. I know you brothers and sisters see where this is going. He posts his posts included references to current events from the Will Smith Chris Rock slap to Ketanji Brown Jackson being elevated to SCOTUS. I had no idea that the African name, or with that African name, which all everything he says here is in this video. I'm gonna play it real quick. But one more. It says Frank James, the person of interest, yada yada yada, has many videos on YouTube discussing his militant black nationalist views. His militant black nationalist views. You mean to tell me that they can't do quote unquote investigations and come out and say, oh, this guy, he definitely was influenced by the Black Hebrew Israelites or by one of these camps or communities. That's right. That's not far behind any of this right here. Okay. He recently expressed disappointment that Justice Ketanji Jackson is married to a white man. Yeah. Yep. So I'm gonna play this real quick and we can hear this. You can hear it for yourself.
I had no idea with that African name that she would be married to a white man. One of my subscribers brought that to my attention. Yeah. Our black sister, Supreme Court Justice, power to the people, is married to a fucking white man. You see this fucking picture? I don't believe this shit. Oh God. Wait a minute. This is the motherfucker right there. He is. There he is. White man. Black sister. Ketanji Tay, motherfucker name. Married to a white man.
And you notice he got the shades on, right? He got the black shades on. You know who else had black shades on? Grandmaster Jay. He also had black shades on. They just pull up in the cut in some dark room, shades on, just spewing shit. And it just happened. It's always these kinds of individuals that just pop up and do shit. And every time they do shit, there's always information that they can trace back and say, oh, these guys were into some shit. Come on, man. If you can't see what's going on, it says apparently James posted posts inciting violence on Facebook for years without them being taken down. So what else is this pushing for? This is also pushing for that censorship. They can say, well, if YouTube allowed videos like this to stay up, and that allowed either the videos that influence this individual or the videos that he put up that could influence others, and they can say, well, if they allowed content like this to stay up, why is that still a thing? Why is YouTube allowing things like this to stay up? Okay. So we're very close to the famine of the word, and we are damn well very close to the what they call that, the persecution. All right, it says it. It's even written in the book of Second Esdras. It's written in Matthew 24. All right, so we already know what time it is because it's like I've said this before that it's not. We're not just going to keep saying this and saying this and saying this, and then they come and then they try something and they pull back. Then they come and there's a tactic as to why they do that. Okay, and ultimately we're at the point in matter of fact, let me get that real quick, and then we keep on reading on here. In the book of Revelation, chapter 12, in the last verse, verse 17, it says, "And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach." So, who are the remnant that keep the commandments of God? Okay, ultimately, that's the elect. So now these devils know that they can't just roll up on your ass for no reason. So before they do anything, they have the problem reaction solution. They need a reason. They need support. They need to garner up demonization against you to justify whatever tactics they want to take against you. And that's exactly what they're doing. Because us just saying, when we everybody's entitled to an opinion, right? They call this freedom of religion, freedom of whatever, right? Now, it's one thing to say something, but it's another thing for actions to be done. See, when you are when people take matters into their own hands because of what you say, you can be charged for sedition. Okay? So it says here, it's time for action. For years, Frank James, the person of interest in the Brooklyn mass shooting, has made references to shooting and killing people on his Facebook posts. Everybody that wants to put me in my place, your place. Nothing says F you better than some of these F you. You see what's going on, man? And because what he did was is on mainstream media, all this information that I'm reading, as they're gonna dig up more and you're gonna see more news clips, it's gonna be on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all kinds of news. And I mean, we're gonna watch and see, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of them threw in the Hebrew Israelites or something, in there very, very close where they could try to tie us in there, because they're already look, there's already way too many um red flags in this thing. Okay. It says here NYPD cited James a person of interest. Um, all right, it says here in the attack during a Tuesday press conference, when reached by the Daily Beast, one of his sisters, Catherine James, said she hadn't spoken to her brother in a few years and that he kept to himself. I don't know what might have been his motivation. Last I spoke to him was like 3 years ago. James said, we don't keep in contact with each other. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know anything about why he might have done what he did. And then see, yeah, he just goes on in here. He's talking about tightening security. This is all look, this is so many things in one. They can push for gun control with this, they can push for YouTube censorship, they can push that demonization with this. All I'm saying is it's interesting how it always circulates back to some black supremacist information, right? Let's see. Mm, all right, so let's keep. It says, Mr. Mayor, I think that one of the things that we went through went through a lot of people's minds who know New York City well enough to understand a little bit about the neighborhood in which this happened, particularly because of hate crimes, particularly because of anti-Asian hate crimes. This neighborhood where this happened, Sunset Park, is a heavily immigrant neighborhood. There's large Asian population among lots of other immigrant populations. Yada 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 yada. Can you tell us anything about worries that this might have been ethnically motivated, might have been targeted, might have been a targeted hate crime or sort of hate motivated attack? I think people surmise that might be a possibility given the location of this, but we don't have anything to go on. Yeah, not yet, because they release information little at a time. Yeah, Khan. Yep. Yep. So now what I want to do is just like I said, I want to just look through a few of these videos, right, on this so-called guy's page, right, which is Prophet of Doom, right? That's the name of his YouTube page. Prophet of Doom 8888. Let's see if we can spot out some. You got Doomsday right here. It's Doomsday. Look at that. It's Doomsday near. You got a image of what looks like missiles or some fireballs hitting the black woman in dangerous times. This was 2 years ago. Okay, let's see what else we got here. He talks about a shooting rampage. This is not your job. D Wade's son living his truth. All right, so Yeah, yeah, Trump did say that. He did say that. These prophets of doom, he did say that. My "We Are Not African" video change of plan. Whoa, isn't that interesting? And I mean, I might look through this a bit more, and I might see sign, that would be, if I see sign, I might just post it. But let's see. All right, let's see. And then this is all information they said here from um 2 years ago. All right, white on white supremacy. For those who are wondering, all right, his videos, they seem to go back, quite a while. It seems he has quite a lot of videos on here. Young Pharaoh and pseudo facts. All right, so that's interesting. Now, I want to actually do something. There's a feature here on YouTube that you can utilize. Is the search feature here. You can search videos on a specific channel. So let's search certain keywords. See Israel. Something pops up on Israel. Does he have any content? Okay, he doesn't have content on with the title Israel in it. Does he have anything with Hebrew? Hmm. When you type in Hebrew, we have here, "We Are the Worst." This is a 41-minute video. Prophet of Doom Indigenous, live from 125. All right. Where would we be if it wasn't for slavery? Act like a man. Interesting. Interesting. Our past is our future. Hmm. Is this the new face of domestic terror? So, this is like I said, man, this is some interesting stuff here. Let's see. Does he have anything with Bible? Why did we want freedom? 70, okay. Accepting the yoke of slavery. Now, he seems to speak about slavery, right? As if, because when Jake speak about slavery, they speak about, oh, why did we go into slavery, and what was the cause, and we are the people type joint. So maybe let's type in slavery. So you have here slavery in reverse. Interesting. Like I said, these are pretty long videos, so that's why I'm not really clicking on them. But I will, look through some of them, and if I find any interesting information, like I said, I'll and what I actually, matter of fact, let me do this for y'all. Let me put the link to this article that I just read in the chat. And also in the article you can find his YouTube page, but I'll just post it here too, in case anybody is interested in that. All right. Yeah, I am Miles Garrett, self-oppressing. You can't fix. This is video I was doing before the door knock. All right. We did not choose to be mixed. So there's some interesting information going on here. We'll see what comes of it. But before going, let me get a couple of precepts on here. I did mention the book of Second Esdras. So let's get that real quick. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 70. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord." Now, the question that you got to ask, right? Let's look at the about section. The question that you got to ask is, what um what is going to cause them to be like madmen, sparing none, and still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord? See, in today's society, the way they set it up, you can't just go out and do that unless you have a cause. When they bring these troops out and they start walling, they're gonna have a cause. Okay. It says, "For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." Now, this ain't gonna be happening on some, oh well, we just coming, just for people who identify as or who claim to be Hebrew Israelites. No, they're coming for everybody. All right. The only thing is, when they come, only those that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai has mercy on are the ones that are gonna make it out. Okay, because these devils, they ain't coming to play around. Okay, but that's why it says here, verse 73, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Because things it is gonna get real. All right, it is gonna get, see, it's all fun and games till you end up seeing your face on TV. You end up seeing a street speaking with you on it on TV. Then all of a sudden, oh, what's going on? What's going on here? You know, and then come to find out, they saying then you hear the commentary behind it on the news, and it's not sounding too friendly. So, you know, the Lord told us about this. Matter of fact, let me get Matthew real quick. The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse. Actually, I'm going to start at 7. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." Now, we when you read in verse 6, it spoke about wars and rumors of wars. Then afterwards, it talks about verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So whatever, at verse 10, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Yeah, because the reason that we're gonna be hated is because the way that they're gonna paint, all right, the light that they're gonna paint us in is gonna be so, it's gonna make us look like we just all evil. All you think about is just evil. We know that's what they do, man. We know that's what they do. But actually, let me see one more thing before we get out of here. This is from Breaking 911. And I want to see maybe if there's any information here that's either more insightful or different than huh. Check this out. It says, let me just cancel this here. James posted numerous videos on YouTube. There we go again. It's always all right. It says, speaking about the oppression of black people in America. Does that sound familiar in any way, shape, or form? He also discussed homelessness in New York City and said that Jewish people's prayers went unanswered during the Holocaust. Watch a portion of the footage below. Let's take a look at this.
We don't give a fuck. Could care less. And that's why we should be exterminated. That's why we should be off this fucking planet. Because we don't give a fuck that the fact that we're doing damage. It's the very thing that gives us life. We have no sense of it and don't want to know shit. Which means you're going to be exterminated. Pray. Pray till your fucking face falls off. Do you not think the Jews who at Auschwitz didn't pray? Do you think the Jews that at Birkenbau didn't pray and pray and pray? Did their God come and save? No, their God. And these are people, supposedly the original people of God. Their prayers didn't do nothing for them. Your prayers not gonna do shit for you. When you're sent to your American Auschwitz to be fucking exterminated.
You hear that? To be exterminated. Does that sound interesting? Yeah, man. This is very interesting stuff here. Exterminated. Those are some key words we're using there, isn't it? Now it says here, there's another one here. It says, in most recent posting, a day before the attack, James published a video titled Domesticated Averages, discussing the case of Jaleel Smith Riley. Okay, let me see what he says in this video. Let's click on that. Oh, whoa.
All right.
All right.
Prophet doing back.
All right, we're not finna watch a 32-minute video right now. But what I'll do is let me post a link to this article as well in the in here. So anybody that wants access to it can go ahead, take a look at that. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Let's come on down. Domesticated. Yep, we heard about this part. Ketanji. Told you so. Let's see what this is.
Monday
minutes.
night brought our news camera.
That's another long one. 24 minutes. Okay. So it looked like he's putting up some news clips. Stop one complete. James has ties to Wisconsin and Philadelphia. A motive for the attack remains unknown. Huh. Let's see. How long is this?
Staying there for the time until I get my permanent, semi-permanent place. But yeah, just on the drive, man, I'm just thinking because I'm heading back into the danger zone, so to speak. You know, it is triggering a lot of negative thoughts, of course, because I do have a bad, severe case of post-traumatic stress after the shit I've been through over the fucking years, man. And just thinking about, again, how fucked up people are. You know, and the nerve, especially of an N-word, to want to be somebody's judge. And there's no way, no how an N-word is qualified to be anybody's judge. Excuse my expression, because after we've been through, but see, again, you take a bath, put a clean pair of underwear on, get a nice dress, a nice pair of shoes, and you start to imagine yourself to be something that you're not. I'm talking to the people that I pose you. I'm talking to those motherfuckers that did damage and did harm to me, tried to kill me, get me killed, tried to get me locked up. I'm talking to them basically because they were all black. And we're all in the same boat, going to the same place, regardless of what anybody wants to say. And especially now, with situations happen over in Ukraine. And they keep mentioning the potential of World War III. Well, no, we're already in World War III.
So he's speaking about Ukraine as well. He's speaking about World War III. So I guess he's also a self-proclaimed prophet going into these topics here, huh?
Putin can do whatever the fuck he wants to do to Ukrainian people. He's killing babies, old women. This motherfucker he's bombing nurseries. And he can't do shit. Why? Because he's got the bomb. He's got 4,000 nuclear bombs. They don't want that. America don't know, or nobody else wants that smoke. And then he's hooked up with China. That's hypersonic missiles.
Yo, listen, you ain't gonna tell me this guy does not watch videos. All right. The what he is talking about, number one, the language he's using, since when does Average Jake talk about and is interested in hypersonic missiles, talks about World War III? You think these black consciousness people are worried about World War III? All right, let's listen to this a little bit more.
Supposed to go 5 to 7 times the speed of sound. That's what China has in its arsenal. And they're backing Putin up. So Biden talking all this shit, that's all he's doing is talking shit. Because he ain't gonna do nothing. He can't do nothing. He can't do shit. Sanctions. Oh, we're gonna sanction. These motherfuckers, the people that he's trying to really affect by that, they're multi-billionaires. They laugh at a fucking sanction. Not millionaires, billionaires. That's what they care about a sanction. But he's got to talk tough. He got to talk bold. But his hands are tied. He can't. This ain't like World War II where you can go over there and just jump on them and jump in the fight. One false move, and that could be lights out. And I'm so fucking glad. Man, I'm so fucking glad. You know, and especially looking at the attitude of white people, especially where I was at in Milwaukee. Oh my God, them motherfuckers.
You hear that? Yeah, like brother said, his verbiage sounds very, very familiar, right? So it's very, very interesting that he's speaking on these subjects. He's talking about lights out. He's talking about the Ukraine. All of a sudden, he knows about the missiles, the hypersonic missile. Come on, man. Come on.
And I'm so fucked up. I went to this one place where this white bitch work. I really like it. And I said, yeah, when Putin gets to shooting, you know, because she's talking shit, you know, about me buying some lottery. It's just always something, man. You can just feel the tension. You can just feel it. You know, motherfuckers that say something, you can feel that they don't like you, don't want you to be around. But, you know, I could give a fuck. I'm still gonna be around them. I go around them all the time. I'm in this place now, Fort Wayne. What the fuck is a Fort Wayne? With a bunch of white racist motherfuckers. Same shit. But I'm only gonna be here one night, thank God. Then I'm gonna go to Philly and be around a bunch of motherfucking niggas I don't want to be around. So wherever I'm going, wherever I move, I'm fucked up. But just thinking about the fact that, yeah, how fucked up motherfuckers are. Yeah, we need to be under these conditions.
We need to be under these conditions. What conditions are that?
That threat needs to be there. Just to show motherfuckers again, this with a powerless piece of shit. You talking all this big bad bullshit about how much parts you got and how big and bad you are, and you have no power at all. None. Zero. That's what tells a motherfucker like Ralph Maher, I call him a turd in the toilet. That's all he is. That's all Puerto Ricans are. That's all niggas are at the end of the day. A bunch of turds in the toilet. Wait for somebody to whoosh, pull a handle. And just that fast, we're gone. Vladimir Putin has his hand on that handle. And any minute, any day, he'll go whoosh, and dig your hole. After all that shit you talked, while you focus on me, I ain't got shit, you ain't got shit, you ain't going nowhere, I ain't going nowhere, but your hate is focusing on me. And it's with a black bitch too. A stinking black bitch has hate for me and wants to attack and do harm against me. You ought to die. You ought to be fucking incinerated, you black stinking bitch.
Incinerated. Yeah.
And everything you do ought to go with you. You got life fucked up. You got what it is to be a woman and a human being fucked up. You got freedom fucked. You got everything fucked up.
Hell yeah, he's an agent.
And what's happening in this day and time proves it, because you're about to die. The threat of death hanging over your head, and everything you do in love. So hate me. Look down your nose at me. Tell me what I've done as a human being. You worthless fucking black bitch. Be my guest. Whoosh. And there you go, down the fucking tubes. Like the fucking human turd you are. Or that you've been turned into and are glad to be. And don't realize you fucking are. What else are you? Have nothing, want nothing, do nothing, just shitting fucking babies out that can be destroyed any minute because it makes you feel like a woman. Or makes you feel like a man. You're a piece of shit. You're a turd in a toilet. That's my post-traumatic stress is kicking in right now. I'm so happy. I'm not happy, but I'm glad, I feel a sense, I have a sense of joy. I've seen a side of human beings, they need to die.
You hear that? They need to die. This guy is clearly set up. This guy is clearly set up because if you watch how he's speaking, right? They say but they don't say. Meaning he says it without saying it. He'll sound just like an Israelite, but he won't say he's an Israelite. He won't use certain keywords. He'll say, "Oh, you about to die. Oh, missiles are coming," but he won't say Jacob's trouble. These man, I'm telling you, man. Like I said, it's very interesting that the one guy who goes and does he's the suspect. They of all the people, they find the suspect, and this is what he's about. Come on, man.
They need to suffer and drop fucking dead. Because if they were good people, these people, we wouldn't be going through this.
So there you go. Now here's a key part he keeps mentioning. He keeps mentioning these conditions we're in. We wouldn't be going through this. If they were decent people, we wouldn't be going through this. So what is that we wouldn't be going through? Sounds like he really wants to say the curses. But see, that'd be too obvious.
But there's something, you call it karma, call it the fuck you want, I don't know what the fuck it is. That's what I say. I had plans to do things to people. I don't need plans to do shit. Do what to you? It's about to happen. In a way, I wouldn't even wish even on the worst, the motherfucker I hate the worst, I wouldn't wish this on them. What's about to really happen?
Yeah, that. So what is about to happen? Does he really want to say Jacob's trouble? But he said it's. Man, we see right through this, man. But you know what? Let's keep going. Let's see a few more minutes.
Not even 3. If that motherfucker just drops, let's say even 5, 4, 1 nuclear bomb anywhere in this country, It's over. FEMA camp time.
Whoa. I know y'all heard that. Oh, I know y'all heard that. Let's go back. Let's go back. You just said FEMA camp time? Let's go back. FEMA camp time. Really?
4-1. Nuclear bomb anywhere in this country. It's over. FEMA camp time. Martial law. The Patriot Act.
FEMA camp. Martial law. The Patriot Act. Yeah? Oh. So not only is he calls himself prophet of doom, right? He's talking about, you know, the conditions we're in. You know, he's calling on Black Jesus to come and kill the Whiteys. Now he's talking about World War III. He's talking about FEMA camps. He's talking about martial law. He's talking about all these things. But this guy just so happens to be just some guy who just went and shot up Brooklyn, the train over there. And then you see the video of what the event was like, and it's like, man, this joint is looking all set up and staged. Ain't that interesting? Let me play that one more time. And it's the spirit that I clicked on this video to even look at it. But let's see.
Say even 5, 4, 1. Nuclear bomb anywhere in this country. It's over. FEMA camp time. Martial law.
Yeah, Khan. Let's see if he mentions that multi. Yep. Let's see.
The Patriot Act. And a fucking nigga ought to be somewhere picking cotton, stinking black bitch. This is what you get. This is what you get for being a vicious black, no good stinking piece of shit. No, there's work to be done that you haven't even thought about.
Oh yeah, Lafayette Temple of the Lord says, I just checked out his page. He has a video that says get ya or got ya. Isn't that, man? Look, man, like I said, too many red flags.
A factory reset on your humanity is needed in order for you to have any thought of having a fucking future past certain times. That you a dead motherfucker. If they don't do what I've said they're going to do, you're still dead. There are people, white people in this country, because I'm getting tired of you. And I'm black. And I'm a fucking nigga. I'm getting tired of looking at a fucking stinking nigga. Getting worse and worse at just bitches just shitting fucking babies out that have no sense of shit. Again, eat, sleep, shit, piss, fuck, fight, talk, and start shit. And what the fuck else do you do? Why should you be here? Why should you allow this to be staying this motherfucker? Make a fucking reason. Make a reason up. It's not going to suffice. Because the motherfuckers see the same thing I see. And one more or the other have every intention of getting rid of your fucking ass. Just like them European Jews were gotten rid of in Europe. And they had no right to do what they did to them. Hitler had no right to do what he had to do to them Jews. White motherfucker here has every right to kill you. He has every right to kill you. Why? Because he created you. Like Dr. Frankenstein created the Frankenstein monster. You're his fucking creation. You're not an African, not a European. You're some cross between the motherfuckers. Which makes you a human mule. Which makes you a human fucking mule. There is no such thing as a black European, but that's what you are. That's what you created to be. And you get a mule by crossing a horse and a donkey. They're both from the same species. Horses and donkeys are the same species, but different families of that species that should not have contact. That union was forced. The donkey and the horse were forced to have sex and make that fucking mule. Just like you were forced to have sex just like the African female was forced to have sex with a white man to make you. It's no different. But you don't want to see, you want to know what the fuck you want to know. You want to make stories up in your fucking head. You want to get amnesia. You want to be delusional about what's going on around you and believe you have it's about fucking and fighting. It's about your fist and your dick. Yes, it is if you're an animal. And you are an animal. You're a feral farm animal. A farm animal running wild. That's all the fuck. At the end of the day, that's all we are. That's all we are at the end of the day. I'm getting how many get 1,000 degrees. I couldn't give a fuck. That doesn't change the facts of the matter. That doesn't change where you came from and what the foundation of your being is, which is slavery. And so when Putin gets to shooting, I'm busy saying, thank you, Mr. Putin. Because I'm gonna be incinerated with everybody else, but I'm gonna die with a smile on my face and a song in my fucking heart. Because that's exactly what the fuck should happen. That's exactly what's the point. What's the purpose of this thing being? This whole thing exists. This is, again, America, the United States is a criminal fucking act from beginning to end. It was started from a crime, the genocide of the indigenous people.
Oh, yeah. He almost slipped up. I'm gonna play that again. Sounded like he was about to say Israelites. Hold on, let me play that again. Hold on.
Beginning to end, it was started from a crime, the genocide of the indigenous.
You hear that? The genocide of the who? America started the genocide of the who? Man, yeah, you heard that? Man, this guy, man, yo, bro, listen. Esau, look, see, that's the thing. These devils, like bro's been saying, man, they getting sloppy with the joint. They getting sloppy with it, and that's the Most High gonna always reveal it to us. My man's almost said Israelite. Let me play that again. Put the volume all the way up.
Act from beginning to end. It was started from a crime, the genocide of the indigenous people.
The genocide of the. They got closed caption on that? Yeah, okay. They didn't mention that part. Right. So he almost slipped up. You know, he almost slipped up, but he might slip up. Let's go ahead and see. Oh.
The enslavement of the African people. How the fuck can you have?
So the genocide of the indigenous people, the enslavement of the African people. So so now he's dealing. Though he was just interested in black people, but now he's talking about the indigenous people. But then he's also talking about the black people. Why those two? He's talking about America on this.
Anything lasting and decent out of that? How's that possible? You got this fucking black bitch. What's they talking about? It's something sacred. Is she insane? Is she nuts? Sacred how? And like I said, you know, when you commit a crime, you break one of man's laws, you got to pay for that shit. And you can say, well, gee, I didn't know that was a crime. Yeah, I killed that guy, but I didn't know murder was a crime, really? The judge say, oh, yes, sir, murder's a crime. And whether you knew it was a crime or not, you got to pay for that. Fuck you, because you broke the law. You broke one of man's law, and you got to pay. Because ignorance of the fucking law is no excuse to break that motherfucker. That's not only true for man's laws, that's true for nature's laws and the universe's laws. Going to pay sooner or later. If you don't pay, your kids going to pay. If your kids don't pay, your great-grandkids, somebody going to pay, baby. Free. Your ass is free. Your stinking ass is free. Ain't nothing free here. What you think? I want to be in America. Everything you ain't. No, my Spanish-speaking friend. You got to pay, bitch. Your kids got to pay, nigga. And they about to do it right now. When Putin gets to shooting. All day long here, World War III. And I told you these motherfuckers weren't prepared. And I was watching a news report on CNN. One of the Ukrainians says one of his biggest regrets was they were not prepared for this conflict. They were not prepared to deal with this. They're not prepared to do nothing but that. Now they're fighting bravely and they're making some they're doing some shit, but it's just a matter of time before they get worn. They get worn down. But their people are dying, and they're going to fight brave, but they're going to lose. They could have been in a much more secure place if the people had been prepared. At least had what do you call that shit? A what if scenario. What happens if Russia invades? What do we do? How do we act? Where do we go? Where do you go if this bombs start falling? What kind of weapons can that all should have been that they should have been talking about that day and fucking night. Same thing with a fucking nigga. What happens if martial law is declared and you have to go into a FEMA camp with 5,000 or 10,000 other motherfuckers and stand on 2 or 3 mile long line to get an MRE and a bottle of water? What happens then? What do you do? Kill yourself. Just go ahead and kill yourself. That's all you can do. Kill yourself, kill your kids, because they have a future way on what planet? A future way on what fucking planet? They have a future. They have no future here. This is a dead end. It's an experiment brought about by a handful of white men because they were greedy. They wanted wealth and power. They didn't give a fuck about nothing else. And now it's just the point where it's going to finally fail. It's going to finally it's run its course.
Oh, it's going to fail. Okay. All right, so a hand of white men could consider these elites, right? And now, yeah, well, that's what I'm waiting for. You know, like the elder brother Moan Gabar also mentioned. I'm waiting. There's only a few minutes left in this video. I'm waiting to see if he mentions, anything related to that. That MOTB or something like that. Because he's already mentioned martial law. He's already mentioned the FEMA camps. He's already mentioned World War III. All right. He really, really talked about the curses. He's talking about all these things. Let's go ahead and see what else.
They can do nothing else but self-destruct. This nation was born in violence. It's kept alive by violence or the threat thereof. And it's going to die a violent death. There's nothing going to stop that. But when you're talking to farm animals, they have no sense of it. A farm animal don't give a fuck. A pig don't care about nothing but eating some slop and rolling around in the mud. You say, hey, Mr. Pig, no, they're going to cut your throat tomorrow. You better do it. You don't give a fuck. All you know, he's got some slop to eat and some mud to wallow in. It's no different for a motherfucking N-word. Obviously. And so, these are some of my thoughts, man, with the fucked up situations I've been through with people who have the nerve and the gall to try to be my judge. You in the same boat. How you feel you qualify to judge me about shit? But this is the state of mind of a fucking stinking nigga. The gall. The fucking gall. After what you've been fucked from A to Z, up and down, around, all around. You exist through rape and forced sex between people who weren't supposed to be having sex. Was one man has sex with 25,000 women in a breeding farm some fucking way. This is how you got here. And you want to talk shit, but then now we were kings. No, you were a fucking pig in a pig pen. You came out of forced sex. Virginia, the main product of Richmond, Virginia was not cotton, it was slaves. Up to 20,000 slaves a month were shipped out of Richmond, Virginia at one time. Through a breeding program. This is why this international slave trade was stopped, because it was competition. They were bringing the slaves from Africa, but they were breeding slaves right here. What the fuck? That's competition. That's why it was stopped. Not because of some moral bullshit. Unless you deal with the reality of your condition, why you're here, you're never gonna. Putin might dropping bombs right now. It's gonna happen. I hate to tell you that. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's gonna happen sooner or later. If it's not today, it's gonna be tomorrow.
Yeah. Con. Yep. It's interesting that this happens right after Justice Jackson mentioned the African Hebrew Israelites. Yep. Very, very interesting. Very interesting.
What else can it be? But focusing on me. Let me be the object of your fucking hate. Attack me. I want you to do that. And hopefully that will keep you distracted long enough for a motherfucker to tip up behind you with a baseball bat and bash your motherfucking brains out. And hopefully you won't feel too much pain after that happens. That's what I can hope for. Or when Putin drops the bombs, your hate is so focusing on me, attacking somebody that looks like you, that you won't feel no pain because you're of the state of mind that you're in. That's the only hope I can have. There's nothing else to hope for. And so this is what I want to talk about as I sat here. I'm sitting here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, about to go into this Kroger for what I don't know. I shouldn't be. I've been eating like a goddamn horse. Since I've been on the road, I broke my motherfucking eating plan. So, but I tried to keep it, not make it too bad. At least I try to, But it doesn't really matter. Once I get to where I'm going, I'm gonna tighten up again anyway. So, but in the meantime, I'm kind of going a little bit off and shit. Guess I'm gonna go ahead and go off a little bit more some shit here. This has been so long since I've seen the Krogers. Even though Pick and Save is the same shit, but just I don't know, nostalgia. I don't know what the fuck it is. But anyway, I didn't have really much more to say. I just want to let you know that I did reach the first leg of my trip safely. And my next leg would be Pittsburgh. I'm just taking my time. Tomorrow's Monday, so I got time. Fuck around in Pittsburgh, whatever. I guess I'm gonna be good because I'm at check-in time at 3:00. I'll probably get there around. I'll probably know because if I leave out at 9, I'll probably get around 3, maybe later than that. Shit, I left out of motherfucking Milwaukee, and I want to say 12, and didn't get here till like 6, whatever the case may be, because I kept stopping, man, stopping. Like I told you, I can't. I'm not a long distance driver, So I stop and I rip, but then traffic jam. when I got down, but it didn't happen until I got into the middle of the city. Usually that shit is way back, and the reason that was because it was a construction. That was before COVID. I lived there 15 minutes. Usually this is like half hour. This is all day sometimes. When I was before COVID, I lived there. Shit, you be in a traffic jam all day in that motherfucker. I don't care what time of night you driving that bitch be traffic jams. But so I got through that and then get ready to head on back, head on to Pittsburgh tomorrow. Drop my shit off at my storage unit. Go to my hotel, New Jersey, because this is so expensive in Philly, man. I'm not paying all that money being in fucking Philly if I don't have that. So I'm gonna do that, and
yeah, that's it. That's this guy right here. So it's very interesting. Yeah, sounded like he was preaching without the scriptures, right? Yeah, this guy's definitely got to be set up. With the things he was saying. Like I said, he says it, but then he tries not to say it, but then he says it. We already know, all right, what this guy is about. Now it says here that according to WNBC, more unexploded smoke canisters were found on the train where the gunfire erupted, as were gasoline cans. Further evidence supporting law enforcement officials' preliminary view that the shooting was a premeditated attack. So they're going to so if it's premeditated, then they're going to say, well, look at all these videos here of what his ideals and what his his mindset and his interests and his beliefs are, and that is the cause of him going about doing stuff like this. All right, I'm trying to see if there's anything else on him. Yeah, this little creature over here. Let's see here. Yep, we got this van right here. Yeah, apparently, this is what they found. My man thought this was Call of Duty. He came with a gas mask and everything. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, but yeah, that's that's pretty much it on that. I just wanted to bring that out just to show that it's like this is something that we definitely got to keep our eyes on, because you heard it. You heard it with your own ears. The things he spoke about, what they said he was. So now with those things he spoke about, we definitely speak about that. All right. So if they chose to say, "Oh, look, they taught him he's a black spring," so what's the difference between him and these Hebrew Israelites, or he learned from it won't be long. All right. It's very possible that they might just come out and say, "Oh, we found some connection between him and yada yada yada." Okay. So hey, with that, I'm gonna end it here. I believe I put all the links to these in the chat. I'm also gonna put them into the comment section so you can check them out for yourself. And we already know what time it is, so stay in the spirit, stay circumspect, and hey, prophecy must go on. All right. So with that, Lord willing, you've been edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodesh. And until next time, Shalom.